And anybody that just closed the deal knows that's not the truth. You can take months and months to get paid, right? So I just like Joe, I did a short sale, took 2 years to get done. Right? I think I could have worked at McDonald's for cheaper. Okay, but my point is, this shows our value, and so do what you feel comfortable with. If you want to say, listen, I work for 3%, I'll show you any property. If it's 1.5, that's great. You make up the 1.5. We're cool. I'm good with that, right? But if you're going to do it, you better show your damn value, and that's the biggest thing that I don't think we do today is show our value, especially on the buy side.
When, what do you put? 4?
Right?
So-
7.
So I do put 3, and I have gone after them for the difference. Just because it's a value. And now, the reason being, and I don't, it's not like I go after that. I'm not trying to make money, but when I say I put all of my time and effort into it, I will lay awake at night in bed and I'm just like, oh my God, there's a great house. And by 8 a.m. I'm calling, you guys see, like I will do whatever. You need a video tour, you know what, so I do 100%. Now, if you're gonna haphazardly do this business, you can go ahead and put 1% in there and hey, at least I get something. But I've dedicated myself to this business
I love it.
and I'm full service. Now,
I love it.
for full service, I'm gonna get what I choose is beneficial for me, which is 3%. Now, I've had a client that says, I don't wanna pay anything. I said, I'll show you everything in here, but if there's a difference, and he says, don't show me anything that I have to pay the difference. So we went 2 months showing him 3%, and I said, you know what? You're not seeing anything you like. We can reduce that to 2.5%. Just know you'll have to pay the difference. He says, fine, we'll go ahead and do it. I found him one that day and he paid the difference. That's it. I will show you what you want to see, but I'm putting my heart and soul into this. But again, there are some clients that you know they're barely scraping by.
Right.
You don't work for free. I'm very sorry, maybe this is not the time for you to purchase a home. But if you want to, that case, I would put 2.5%, and then I would make a note.
Right.
You know, but I
Grudgingly.
Bill them monthly for the difference.
I love it.
But here's the thing: is if you make a note, it will say you get called on from the division, and you're not treating everybody fairly. You have to write. Okay, I spoke with the lender; they have no more money, so I did reduce the commission to 2.5%. Just make your notes, so you're not going to get called as doing something that you're not being fair to everybody. But you do that at the point, but you gotta use your discretion for what you wanna put, what you guys think is fair for you guys to do business, that's just how I run my.
Remember, you can do a dollar amount too. You don't have to do a percentage. I work for 10,000. Whatever that is, you can do that. You
Do you
don't have to put
And I think what
percentage.
Jeff and Joe said, and even Wendy did, when you present this, you're not presenting to them right away. Hopefully you spend 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes with them in a buyer's consultation, showing them all the stuff you're gonna do, then this makes sense. You show them the value. If you pull this out too soon, they're gonna start, walking backwards. I ain't saying this, I don't even know what you're gonna be doing, so, right?
Timing. So Wendy, how do you handle it if they're not willing to pay that, 0.5%, and you know that they can't afford it? Like, do you walk away from it, or like, how would you negotiate that? Just walk away from it?
Yeah, I just say, well, this is what I get to do business. Now, would you go to work tomorrow or this whole weekend and work for free?
No.
And you wait, and then they say no. Say, okay, well, would you work for half price? You're gonna do the same amount of work, but would you work for half price? No, I can't either. I pay bills and I put food on my table.
When you say that, they get
Refer
insulted when you say that. Are you willing to work for free next month? How dare you say that? Well, then why are you asking me?
And again, this is really realtor specific. We all handle it
Different,
differently.
absolutely.
Okay?
I try not to be
But-
rude, guys, but pausing, it's got a lot of power. So just remember that, ask them a question and pause.
And think about it this way, you have a $900,000 buyer, you put 3% on there, and they say, no, Tim, if it's less in MLS co-op, I'm not paying it to you. So let's say it's 2.5, that's 5, that's, what's 5% of, 0.5% of 900,000? $4,500, okay? Are you willing to take $4,500 less, or just kick them to the curb and get nothing? Absolutely. We're gonna, even if it's at 2%, you're probably gonna take it. But you don't have to. I know agents like Wendy that'll walk away from the deal, but maybe some of us wouldn't.
You
That's the
could
point.
refer it, get a referral.
And I'm not gonna encourage everybody to walk away, like I've just gotten to that point in my business where I'm less like, okay, my time is of this value and that's what I do. But when you're starting out, I understand, so I mean, I'm training a lot of you, so I'm like, I don't want you to think that, oh my gosh, what is just too strong, but you just, case by case really, and know your clients, but I just feel that when you're solid and confident when presenting this, they will understand your value. If you start devaluing yourself and giving, like when you're doing a listing and you're reducing your commission and all of that stuff, if you can't hold tight on your own commission, how are you gonna hold tight and negotiate for them, and, you know, and it's just all about showing your value.
So,
That's true.
All right, okay, we got time for a few more questions. Steph, you go for it.
Yeah, now it's my turn. So would you guys, all three of you, and I don't want to explode you, but be willing to share us your opening statement of what you say to your buyers, the example how you introduce this form, and especially you, Joe, I like your number 3, broker compensation, whichever is greater. How do you tell it to your clients? Because I'm German, I like to hear the formulation.
Well, again, I have this form along with a half a dozen other forms that are part of our buyer consultation. And I call this a contract for services.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people can rationalize that a lot more than a buyer-broker agreement. I think that's confusing to people. And I just explained to them that this is the contract that we use to hire me to work for you. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but, and in there, it is gonna state what we agree that we're gonna get paid. And there is a co-op that's being offered in the MLS, and most of the time, we're fine working for that. So we're gonna put in 2.5 to, I usually just put a range, 2.5 to 3%, because that's usually where most of these listings fall. I know that there is a thing here for the transaction fee, and I don't know if you're gonna get into that or if we're skipping ahead, but that part is not negotiable. That's being charged, period, every single file. If it's gonna be charged to the file, it's gonna be paid. That is just a pass-through item. Again, a lot of these things, you have to be able to deliver the information with a level of confidence that this is not a discussion point.
Right, right.
We're not gonna decide what sounds good, because guess what? What sounds good to the buyer is grinding that number down as low as possible, like, you know, what Wendy was saying. So I usually just present this with my other forms, that this is something that our brokerage requires, that I require, so that we can make sure we're getting paid. And I use the example of a listing, and most people have sold a home in their life, or at least understand what a listing is. And I think when you compare it to a listing agreement, I think most people can understand the value of it.
I'm with you. This is why I love the way you said, this is a service agreement, great. I never used it, you guys, but I've coached and taught enough on it. Use it as, this is an agreement that we agree to work together. You're gonna work with me exclusively. You know, and the one thing I don't think we do enough is, Mr. Barr, do you understand how I get paid? Well, no, I don't know. Don't you get paid by the seller? Well, yeah, I get paid by the seller, but only on successful close of escrow. So I'm gonna do all this stuff for you for free. I just wanna get paid at the end. Is that a problem? I mean, seriously, guys, right? We don't do enough of that kind of stuff. I don't think we, again, I'm constantly saying, treat this like a business. Take the emotion out of it. When you know who you're true worth, you know your value, you know what you do, you know you're a strong negotiator. You guys, you can get this every time. I was with Joe. 18 years ago, I was charging $6.95 on a transaction fee. And I used to say, 2 people can pay this, you or me, and I'm not paying it. What's your next question? And that was it, guys. I didn't beat around the bush. I gave my mom a discount. I did. Oh yeah, here, I'm gonna give you a discount because you're my mom. But normally I don't do this, right? I mean, guys, it's got to be paid. But when you take this form or anything that we do and you muddle it, I don't understand. Right? They know that this is a fee they don't have to pay. But when you say, listen, this is a fee that it keeps the brokerage running. This is a fee, like you said, it's non-negotiable. I never had a problem getting it, right? It's part of the deal of the transaction, please.
The transition fee, every deal by, like percentage, whatever, it's different number.
Yeah.
We only give you one choice here, so I should pay.
Well, you kind of know the price range they're looking at. Hey, it's 600,000. Well, it's going to be $800 or whatever it is. So you kind of got an idea.
But that's contract. Like I sell home for $100 rent. At the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
like $900, right? So that number big
Could change, absolutely. Yeah,
So
it could change.
they only give one line.
Right. Well, like you said, you were raised like Joe said.
What you
But
can say
again,
to your.
let's be honest, if you have a buyer, you have a range within $50,000 what they're gonna buy. Is that, everyone agree?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so you know what the transaction fee
Yeah.
is. You know what the compliance fee is.
Right.
It shouldn't change dramatically
Right.
unless they go from 300,000 to $1.5 million. I don't think that's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
and you can
Yeah.
say to your,
Yeah.
you can fill in a number and you can say, hey, If it ends up being more, I'll cover the difference.
There you go.
Because guess what, if that goes up, that means your price went up too, and you're gonna get more commission.
But one thing Joe said, what's really important, Jeff said it too, and probably Wendy, is that when you do that buyer's consultation, this is why you have to practice at home in front of the mirror. If you're explaining the affiliate business arrangement, you're telling them about the residential disclosure guide, then you're gonna tell them about buy a broker, it all has to stay the same. If you raise your voice, or you get to that form and you start stuttering like Jeff kinda just said, they know something's up.
Yeah.
They say, oh shit, this is a form that's kinda weird, let's see what they're talking about. So you
I've
really,
done
really have to
more-
practice.
I have done more buyer consultations with my young daughter.
See?
over the years. She's signed more of these, and she saw this thing on, I think my brother might have sent this to our family, just to shoot whatever, so she texted me this morning, and she said, oh, congratulations, you're doing a panel, good for you, good luck, and I need money for yoga pants.
Come on, Uncle Joe, give me a hand.
I practice this thing like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, just so it becomes like, just natural, where there's no, the minute you start waffling around and stuttering, not literally, but just where you are unsure, people are gonna just grind right through that, every time.
How old's your daughter?
She turned 20 on Monday.
And she's still listening to you?
Listens when she
A little
needs
bit,
money.
When she needs money.
All right, gang, we have time for a few more questions. Not Steph, you asked one already. Go ahead, Amy.
Can we just tell the buyer, you have to sign, my company asked for it?
Absolutely,
Sure.
absolutely.
But be prepared when they say, no, I don't wanna sign it.
You
But
guys,
you
I
know,
gave
be
you this
prepared for
one
the
right
no.
here as
Go
well.
somewhere
Yeah.
else, please.
So take a look at this, and all this stands for is if they say to you, no, I won't sign it, investigate it, well, I can appreciate why you don't wanna sign it, why? And then validate it, well, I see you're concerned because you wanna work with other people, educate them why you wanna use me, and then say, sign the document so we can start it. Right, that's the whole idea of this right here, and there's a couple of pages in more depth about it. And you guys, by the way, I'm teaching a buyer's class in the lab 3 weeks, I think, and you guys are all more than welcome to come, and we'll get more into detail of this kind of stuff. But you guys, you gotta, if they say, again, I gave you stuff, if they say no, you go through it, or you can say no, what's your next question? But you gotta investigate why, because some of the time, well, I got burned on one, I appreciate that, you gotta validate why they said it, and then educate them why you wanna use me, because I know what I'm doing, I'm a great negotiator, I'm a strong communication, I'm gonna do what I say, right, like Wendy does. And then just say, listen, sign it so we can get started, right? When you try to justify something too many times, that's when they know you don't know what you're doing. Don't justify it.
Okay,
Here's
a
what
few
we
more
wanna do.
questions. Who else has questions? Really? No, okay.
So, okay, isn't this kind of a preempt for for what's going to happen after the commission lawsuit, when we have to tell the buyer
That's
what
right.
we charge
That's
is
right,
our
that's
value?
100%. We are gonna do a buyer's presentation class coming up, and we'll probably be in the Northwest or here, but we'll let everybody know. And it's gonna be what you should bring to a buyer's presentation. And because Rock Title has tons of material, Epic's got tons of material you can use, so they can get a better understanding of it all.
We used to have a form, and I haven't used it in a long time, but I used to have a form that I would have people at that consultation look at, and it says, rate yourself as a buyer.
Yeah.
Like, rate your motivation. And it, like, how do you look at yourself as a buyer? Because if you feel that you're sort of, well, if I buy, fine, if not, whatever, that's really good information as a buyer agent that you're gonna wanna know. There's all kinds of really great material.
Well, that's a great question we talk in the buyer's class. Ask them, how long you been looking for a house? I've been looking for a house for 5 years. 5 years? What the hell's been going on, right? Because you guys, we all have buyers that you showed them 1,400 homes. They've looked for 7 months and you're like, what in the frickin' hell's going on?
How many agents have
Right?
you been working with?
Yeah, how many agents you've been working with, and have that conversation, because just like you said, if there's no motivation to buy, well, it's gotta be that perfect house at the right price, it's like, holy crap. I did my nephew, my niece, her and her husband, they drove me up the wall. I mean, literally drove me up the wall. You guys gonna live in this house, right, forever? Oh yeah, we're gonna die in this house. So if you pay $5,000 more, is that could be the end of your world? Well, yeah, I really don't want it. Really? You're gonna die in the house, and $5,000 is the difference between getting it. I mean, it probably took me 8 months to sell these guys a house. And we'd go look at 4 homes, I wouldn't talk to them for 5 weeks. We'd sell 3 more homes, wouldn't talk to them for 5 more weeks. We'd do that off and on, finally sold my house, but it's
Family,
like,
right?
holy
Family.
shit.
I was on a cruise over Christmas and talking to some guy at the pool, and he says, I'm moving to Vegas, I'd love to work with you. My wife and I wanna look at 100 homes.
Wow.
For, like, I mean, you just see the bewilderment, 100 homes.
Yeah.
He goes, and you seem like you're gonna be our guy. I'm like,
Right.
Ain't happening.
I've got an agent neighbor, Carrie, and we're gonna have you.
Two more questions. Steph, yes, Steph.
Okay, so I used this phone before and it's
We didn't
okay,
get Wendy's answer.
But, I mean, we all have to use it now, it's intimidating, and I know we talked about, can we maybe simplify the form? So
No.
the duties all together, is
No.
the form?
No, this is the form is the
No.
form.
There's
Realty
nothing
one
coming
form.
up.
No.
Yeah, this is a division.
This is a division form.
LVR form.
Just like we can't change the duties over.
Right.
We can't, it's a form.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a question. Do you still take the buyer in your car and go, or do you meet at the residence? What is the balance?
I always try to get the buyer to come into the office. It shows your value, it shows who you are, introduce them to your broker, to your compliance. Have them say hi, because it shows value of who we are.
But then do you take them in your car to go look at the
I'd
home?
never put them in my car.
Okay.
I lied. I did one time,
Yeah.
and the lady was feeding the baby in the car seat in my car, and I'm like, my kids don't even need my car. Get out. Okay, I didn't say it that way, but I'm like, that's what I'm doing. I'm not putting them in my car.
And
Follow me.
keep an eye open for the emails. In March, Lee Barrett is doing an ABR designation class, accredited buyer representative. It's like $500 for 2 days. He's doing it to us for $150.
Yeah.
So it's normally $499 to get the accreditation. He's gonna do it for $150, probably in the Southwest office. So once you hear that, you need to sign up, because that'll sell out quick. That'll sell
Yeah,
out
see,
quick.
I never have. I
I
just.
didn't mind that. It's a good way to talk.
Could be.
I know, I was just gonna say, you guys, a lot of people like to put them in their car, but they talk on the way. I don't.
Do you put them in the car?
Absolutely, because guess what? As we're driving, I'm busy closing and closing and closing.
Yeah.
So
You're
by
building
the
a
time we get
rapport.
back to
You're
the
showing your
office,
values.
they're reaching for the pen.
By the way, guys, just because I say the way I do it, doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. I just know, I don't want them in my car. Okay, period.
No.
Get out of my
If
car.
they are in our car,
Yeah.
accident happen, how we protect ourselves?
Correct.
You have to have
Well,
insurance.
that's,
Hey, last but not least is,
How we
Maria.
let them sign the paper,
right,
say that I'm not sue you,
yeah.
something like that.
Maria, is that young guy from
Yeah,
our
hold harmless,
title
right.
still here?
Anthony.
We haven't seen this guy in a while. We think he was in a lockup down in Metro for the 6 weeks, but there he is. Anthony, come on in there. Say hi real quick.
Thank you for posting my bail.
Nice. Oh, you got it. You got it.
How's everyone doing
What,
today?
did you take the bracelet off, the ankle bracelet?
I might hear some sirens in 5 minutes. I don't know. I have to run. How's everyone doing today, though? Good.
Glad
Great
you're back,
knowledge.
glad you're back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
We missed you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so today, just wanted to keep it short just because I know we had the panel and everything. I just passed out a flyer just to show you guys in what parts of your business we can support you guys, whether it's leveraging the marketing tools that we do have available. In addition to that, whether it's forms, open house kits, listing presentation kits, maybe social media training. In addition to that, we are partnering with Epic for some CE classes up in the upcoming here in the next month. So definitely keep an eye out for that. We'll put an announcement out. In addition to that, leveraging Rock University, any other trainings along those lines. You know, Justin Taylor is here in Vegas now, so you'll see a lot of him more. I know Wendy was mentioning he has a class coming up here, so he's a plethora of knowledge that you guys will definitely be able to take a lot of things to really help you maximize your business for the 2024 year. So definitely, if you guys want to have a meeting, go over marketing efforts, anything along those lines, feel free to reach out. All my contact info is on the bottom. So with that being said, I'll hopefully be hearing from you guys soon, and we appreciate you guys' business. and support.
Good job.
Thank
And
you.
guys, also remember, they've got tons of information for your buyer's presentation. How to take title, what's the life of an escrow look like? And it's so much stuff that you can put in your presentation that you give to your buyers and say, this, when you get time, go through it real quickly, read this when you get home, so they get an idea. The best one is how to take title, because they always say, how should I take title? Well, I don't know. Here's a couple of them. Talk to
And
your-
today at noon,
your
Lee
professional.
Dreisen will be here to talk about that exact topic, how to take title.
beautiful.
Go figure. So did you guys get something out of this today, I hope?
Yes.
Good, good, good.